Our next nominee is Eileen Ward. Eileen M. Ward still calls herself a Gotham gal, a fitting nickname for the former College of DuPage Humanities Professor Emerita.
She's just totally amazing. Her wisdom and knowledge of so much in the field of education and English and literature and practical life as well. Very proud to have her as a friend.
Eileen inspired me to be a teacher, to be the teacher I dreamed to be, but she also instilled self-confidence that I can do it. But she has that ability to create the magic of I can, and I'm unstoppable, and I can achieve anything attitude that she has done for me.
This New York native, now a San Diego retiree, made a stop in the Midwest during her coast-to-coast journey, spending 22 years as professor of humanities at College of DuPage. One of the college's most respected retirees, Eileen received the Outstanding Faculty Award for 1997-1998.
It was obvious to me that she was going to be the teacher that I inspire and that would inspire me and would serve as a role model throughout my life. She had a way of not only teaching the subject, but also trigger critical thinking, instill self-confidence, and those are the things that I value most.
She knew things about all of her students. And it wasn't because she was nosy, but she was open and they would talk to her.
She was very much down to earth, and she made a great effort to be with the students and make them feel comfortable around her. And I recall that she actually invited the class to her house.
Eileen has the gift of being an excellent teacher, but also a very caring person.
Eileen Ward certainly made an impression on her students representing multiple generations of learners. At the announcement of her retirement, 4 of her former students established the Eileen Ward Textbook Scholarship in her honor. Through her humanities courses, to classes she taught at College of DuPage's Older Adult Institute, to international field studies excursions. Years later, the impact she made on the College of DuPage community won't soon be forgotten, making Eileen Ward a distinguished alum.
Our next nominee is George Match. Not everyone has a kitchen named in honor, but George C. Match does. And his name is synonymous with the College of DuPage Culinary program and its success.
He started as a student here at the College of DuPage when it was Food Service Administration. He came back as the coordinator and grew the program to one of the largest, best regarded programs in the country.
It was the constant involvement and growth, relentless. He was tireless, working 6 days a week for the betterment of everyone. So for the program, the students, the faculty that work in it.
The Culinary and Hospitality program at College of DuPage has certainly come a long way since George Match began as a student here, earning an associate degree in Food Service Administration. Or even since George returned to COD to teach culinary classes in a converted biology lab in 1976. George expanded the program, which moved into the Student Resource Center, allowing students to develop their skills in larger kitchens, the Escoffier dining room, and the culinary market.
He was constantly on the look for what was new, what was changing, how are we going to position ourselves to be better than, bigger than, the best of.
Taking that legacy of what George has left us and now trying to make it better is a big challenge. When George was here, he did this. When George was here, he did that, and it worked. And there's some things today that we don't change because George set those systems in place or that philosophy in place that has worked so well for the success of the students. And again, it's helped the program to evolve.
I think that he took what he learned here and built it into a program that's recognized nationwide, and he built the foundation. If the foundation wasn't there, if the reputation wasn't there, if the work ethic wasn't there, we wouldn't have this building.
The program as a whole, whether it's the hospitality program, the culinary program, the baking and pastry program, are attributed to what he did. I mean, that's a huge legacy, I think, for him to leave behind.
The recipe for growing the culinary and hospitality program at College of DuPage into one of the finest in the area is greatly attributed to the vision and dedication of George Macht, earning him the credit of Distinguished Alum.
Heather Miller is our next nominee. As a nurse, Heather Miller understands the challenges cancer patients face. Her mother battled cancer, and Heather, the oldest of 5 children, stepped up to help in every way she could.
You know, at 10, when her mom got sick, she just knew. I mean, it was just kind of innate that she knew that she had to take the role of big sister. She needed to be there for her siblings, there for her parents.
Heather was a high-energy student, smiled, enthusiastic about her education. All nursing students are driven. Heather had that drive from day one.
Her mom was probably her greatest inspiration in that she never gave up. Her mom was sick for over 20 years, but never, ever, ever gave up. And I think that's where Heather gets her motivation and her inspiration and her drive.
Treating cancer patients with dignity, providing opportunities for quality health care, designing award-winning cancer treatment centers, and being an active and engaging member of her community are among Heather Miller's passions. Heather is now the Regional Director of Cancer Services at Broward Health in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
She and I had a mutual interest in oncology. My background is oncology, so bouncing things back and forth in that field, it doesn't surprise me that she went on to pursue her interest in oncology. Very rewarding, and for me, so proud.
That's where she has spent most of her professional life, is in cancer care and creating centers for head and neck cancer, and the Gilda's Club, and her reaching out to children kind of brings in her love of children and teaching, but also her love of nursing. So I really commend her for that.
So for her name to be out there and at the bottom of the list of her degrees say she graduated from COD is an honor for us. We should be, as a college family, we should be very proud.
We would hope that all COD students, College of DuPage students, go on to share what they have gained here for the greater good. And I really believe that that's what she has done.
It was her courage, her tenacity, and her ability to cope with whatever life throws her that has made her the outstanding healthcare professional she is today. Ever resourceful, never ceasing to reach further to help make a difference in the lives of cancer patients, is what makes Heather Miller a distinguished alum.
Our next nominee is Jolene Kremer. The journalism skills Jolene Kremer honed at COD have taken her far. Jolene credits her COD professors who challenged her and prepared her for her work in the real world.
What I see in her is someone who is incredibly passionate about what she does. She has a standard of excellence that I've never seen in this industry, and she has the enthusiasm and energy like no other.
The former Courier student newspaper editor completed an associate in art degree at COD and a bachelor's degree in journalism at Northern Illinois University. She worked for more than 20 years as an award-winning reporter and editor at various newspapers. Then, Jolene took her talents in a new direction, using her skills to serve in a number of creative roles. Currently, Jolene is the PR, Communications, and Marketing Director at the American Society for Dermatologic Surgery, where she led the effort to launch a new website design and earn numerous honors for her work.
She's by far the most excellent communicator I've come across, and it's because she is able to grasp the message of the organization and really translate it in a way that speaks to a variety of audiences, which we have to do on a daily basis. I think the most remarkable quality that Jolene possesses is her tenacity for perfection. She goes to the ends of the earth to really produce quality work. It's not surprising to me that she would be recognized in this way. I think Jolene, she's constantly pushing herself to be the best.
Jolene's ability to capitalize on her skills, turning her talents into powerful tools for advocacy and community involvement, demonstrate a spirit to achieve new heights, a quality that makes Jolene Kremer a distinguished alum.
And finally, our last nominee is Marco Benassi. Marco Benassi creates magic in the classroom where students frequently find themselves enjoying school for the first time. The College of DuPage speech professor and forensics coach has inspired hundreds of students, many of whom have gone on to become speech teachers themselves.
When it comes to my philosophy of teaching communication to students, Marco is the person that I think of that gave me that philosophy and the ability to translate it in the classroom.
A testament to the inspiration and motivation a community college education can provide. Marco himself was an individual with untapped talent, seeking guidance and direction, which he found at College of DuPage.
The way he acted in class, he was very much a leader. The students all really liked him. He had a lot of personality, was not afraid to get up in front of the class and give a speech. I still can remember his informative speech. I can remember his persuasive speech. And also when I said, would you like to be on the speech team, he immediately said yes and seemed very eager. There's an old Zen philosophy that the ultimate goal of a teacher is to have one of their students stand on their shoulders and then exceed them. Marco has done that. I feel that I was there for him at the beginning, and he has gone way beyond anything I could have done, and so I'm very, very proud of him.
Who feels like they do give things their best shot? Jimmy, why do you give things your best shot?
Now he returns his gifts as professor, coach, and mentor. From 1988 until present, Marco has been a professor of speech, teaching courses in speech, film, and field and interdisciplinary studies.
So lower this to the ground, and Joe's going to be spinning around singing to the rest of the class.
Marco was named the 2000-2001 Outstanding Faculty Member.
I think every student knows that he's really listening to them, that he genuinely cares about what they have to say, and generally cares about them.
Marco likes teaching, he loves his students, he enjoys them whether they're in his class right now or they were in his class 20 years ago like I was. And I think that that's a really crucial part of being an educator, is actually enjoying what you do.
This is one of our own. This is one that the College of DuPage themselves can be very, very proud of, and someone who the college helped to mold. Someone who the college took and said, okay, here's what we can do for you. And he went out and had great success and came back and is sharing that success with the college. I think he's a terrific choice.
Thousands of students have learned under Marco's instruction and mentorship. For his profound influence and his enthusiasm for the advancements of his students, Marco Benassi is a distinguished alum.
Artist Mariam Pare proves each day that creativity knows no bounds. Not even an accident that paralyzed her would keep her from pursuing her passion. Due to circumstances beyond her control, Mariam Pare is not able to join us tonight. After the video, Jackie Ruland from the Center for Access and Accommodations will be accepting the award on her behalf.
Mariam was a 20-year-old art history major when she suffered the accidental injury that would alter, not prohibit, the young artist's aspirations. After extensive rehabilitation, Mariam was determined to relearn how to paint by holding the brushes with her mouth, and determined to continue her art studies. She enrolled in courses at College of DuPage, earned 2 associate degrees in graphic design and web design, all while beginning a degree in fine art.
My first impression of Mariam Pare, when I think back on it, is into a very crowded art room at the beginning of a semester with all its easels and tables and this and that. I saw her roll in her electric wheelchair, and Mariam set herself up with all her equipment, position herself, and you could see right away this was going to be such an interesting and exciting artist to work with for me, both as an artist and as a teacher.
My sense of her was that she was brave to be out in the world and pursuing something, and that she had an idea about what she wanted to do with her life. And I was impressed the first minute I met her.
What was so amazing to watch over these years was to see her take her art talent and do so much for the community of disabled people.
Today, Mariam is a nationally recognized creative talent, known for her mouth paintings and her involvement with mouth and foot painting artists. She speaks to audiences around the world, never failing to impress with her talents and her message of resilience.
I think she has a lot of soul, a lot of things inside of her that she wants to get out and share. And her art isn't all about being disabled. There are some kind of dark pieces, but mostly they're forward-looking and things about the world that most artists try to express in some way. And so she's not locked into that one role in her life of being disabled.
She's grown so much in this time, and she's just a very, very lovely, beautiful artist.
The fact that she decided that she was going to keep doing what she loved the most is remarkable, and to realize that she was able to pick up a brush and do the mouth painting and do it in such an exacting fashion and write her name and communicate on the computer and do computer art is just, I mean, it's a sign of her strength and her desire to not let this accident that she had stop her life and cause her to, stay home and feel sorry for herself.
Sharing her message and her art, always focused on her goals and never losing sight of her passion, Mariam Pare is a true inspiration and a distinguished alum.
Ted Raspiller believes community college can be a life-changing experience, as it was for him. The president of Virginia's John Tyler Community College attributes his success, in part, to his own experience as a College of DuPage student.
Actually, I wish I could have had Ted as a student, but it never worked out that way. I got to know him through the church, and as I met him and talked with him, he was kind of emerging in his early career and his work as a student, and I think he came back to COD and sort of found himself. He felt like COD was an integral part of his education.
At the suggestion of a friend, Ted enrolled at College of DuPage, where he was academically inspired by caring faculty and a learning environment comprised of students with the highest expectations.
He found a new spirit, some confidence, a sense of what he wanted to do with his life, and one thing led to the next, and he just kept blossoming and has risen one step at a time to a college presidency.
Dr. Raspiller is now president of John Tyler Community College in Virginia, a college with many similarities to the community college Ted credits with changing his life, eventually elevating himself to the role of educator, mentor, and leader. A positive example for all whose paths to success may not be clear or straight or without interruption. Ted Raspiller is a distinguished alum.
Our next nominee is Tony Venezia. Tony Venezia. Tony Venezia is a Hollywood star in his own right. His special visual effects work has been featured in commercials, television, and blockbuster films.
Tony wants to teach. Tony's been in the business. He's run a business. He operated a post-production studio for a good number of years. successfully working on Hollywood projects. So as he comes back to us as a very successful entrepreneur in that field. And if you're a student, there's no better teacher to have than somebody who's already successfully done it.
Tony Venezia studied the art of animation at College of DuPage, earning his Associate in Arts in 1972. He went on to study filmmaking, moved to California, and earned his Master of Fine Arts in Animation at UCLA. He embarked on a successful career producing and creating animations and digital effects for screens large and small. Bringing a little Hollywood back home with him, Tony began teaching animation courses at College of DuPage in January of 2005.
I definitely feel I owe a lot of the success I've enjoyed to Tony. His introductory animation class taught a lot of basic fundamentals of how animation works, but more importantly, I think he teaches a lot of the mental toughness anyone who pursues a career in the arts is going to need.
So you've got one on the way.
I think he resonates with students because he's got that giving personality. If you show up for the animation night at the end of the year and watch the videos of the sort of final reels that students present, you can see Tony's personality coming through in their work. And as an artist, I don't think there's any greater flattery you can receive than to see your students emulating you.
For over a decade, Tony has shared his 25 years of experience creating effects, graphics, and animations. For students with aspirations of becoming animators, his greatest contribution to College of DuPage is the launching of COD's Associate in Applied Science degree in animation.
He's done some really remarkable things with his career, and he wants to simply bring that back here to share it with students, which means he's living a life that's about something other than himself. And I think if you want to look at an outstanding alumni and you scan them, every single one of them really espouses that characteristic. It's that idea of living beyond yourself and of being about something more than yourself and putting it back in the community. And that's really who Tony is. He's a great guy.
Always the consummate professional, with dedication and passion for both his craft and for sharing his gifts with the creative minds that learn from him, Anthony Venezia is a distinguished alum.